Okay, so I'm just gonna do this. The story of the day my mom passed. So, every 4th of July at my house, because I had the pool, the yard, whatever, we'd have a huge 4th of July party. So I called my mom the night before because I was actually just making sure that everybody's still coming and what they're bringing, blah, 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 you know. So it was pretty late at night, and we didn't really have cell phones. So I was trying to call to talk to my brother to see if he needed a ride the next day. And my mom answered. And I was like, what are you doing still up, you know? And she's like, oh my God, hi, sweetie, you okay? You need anything? What are you doing? You know, and I was like, Mom, all right. You know, like I rushed her off the phone because I was food shopping, I was getting things ready. So my last phone call to my mom, I rushed her off the phone. You know, I did everything I had to do. I went to sleep. And I had a terrible, terrible feeling all night. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I'm freaking out right now because okay, so I'm freaking out. So I'm telling you the story about my mom passing, and this fucking song came on, and she loves the song. I know you're around me, Mom. Like, enough is enough. Now I'm getting freaked out. Oh my God. She's gonna love this song. Okay. So anyway, I went to sleep, and I had a bad feeling. So my mother was an alcoholic. We'll call it an active alcoholic my whole life. Every night she would drink like a pint or whatever those big things are, a handle or whatever, of Captain Morgan Diet Coke. But she always had dinner on the table. My house was always clean, and we always were up with her. She was always up with us in the morning for school. Then my brother gets a brain tumor the size of a softball. He has such a huge surgery. It was like 9 hours long. He had to have the cranial cut done. He was in surgery. He was in the hospital for a month. He has a shunt in his head now that drains fluid from his brain to his pancreas, his stomach, all the time, forever. They prescribed my brother OxyContin, the greatest drug ever. You can't get addicted. It works on pain. It's great. Oxy's a great. Doctors pushed it. Well, my mom got addicted to oxys. I'm not going to lie. She got addicted to the oxys. It was bad. In and out of rehabs. Drug dealers at my house. Ringing my doorbell. Everything. It was terrible. It was bad. Well, my mom decides she's going to get clean finally. And she did. And that's when she passed. Makes no sense to me. But anyway, okay, so I went to sleep that night, July 3rd. I got a phone call at 5:36 a.m. I'll never forget the time. It's my brother, Bridget. As soon as I heard his voice, I knew. Danny, his name's Danny, just tell me. Can you just get over here? They live the city over from me. I was like, just tell me. He's like, just get here. I knew my mom was gone. I knew it. I don't remember doing it, but I did drive myself from my home where I lived to my house, the house they lived in. And the whole way, my son was connected to my mother like you wouldn't believe. So I had my son when I was 18 years old. I got pregnant when I was 17. And I did do it all on my own, but my mom obviously was there a lot to help me. And my son loved my mother. Like he would sleep over, like that's his nana, and he was supposed to sleep there that night. But I actually got home too late to drop him off. Always follow your signs. So anyway, the whole way there, I yelled and screamed at God, if you took my mother away from my son, I will never believe in you again. How could I? I'll never believe in you. There's nothing to believe in if my mother is gone. My mom. Well, I pull up to the house, and there's only one police officer in there. And my mom is just laying on the couch. She always slept with a pillow in between her knees because she had her knees replaced. And she always slept sideways on the couch with the pillow between her knees. When I tell you that my mother looked so peaceful, like she was just sleeping. And I don't want to be even gross, but no like rigor mortis set in, nothing. And she was just laying, sleeping. And my sister, I think my sister was like 12, 13 years old, and she had 2 friends sleeping over. My sister was shaking my mom, screaming, "Wake up, Mom. Mom, wake up. Mom, please wake up. Mom, wake up." My brother, who's also a teenager, was in the next room just crying. My dad was out front screaming. And it was the worst thing that I've ever seen, that I've ever been through, and I've been through it all. And then the cop, I went to go touch my mom. She was so cold, and the cop's like, "Don't touch her, this is a crime scene." I'm like, okay. Mind you, they didn't even do an autopsy on her, but right away I knew that the the guy that takes the bodies out in the bags was coming. My sister and I cannot remember anything from this day but driving. I got my sister in the car. Now her friends already went home. Their parents were called. They left. I took my sister in the car. I held her hand. And we did nothing but cry and drive and cry and drive. I don't know where we went. I don't know how we got there. I don't remember going back. We were gone for 3.5 hours. Just driving. Called my brother. He said he's gone. She's gone. And I took my sister back. Now you have to remember, I had a whole party planned for my house. I had all the food. I had all these guests showing up. So my son, this part kills me. My son thinks everybody's there. Now everybody's there because my mom died, but my son thinks everybody's just there for the party. He's in the pool. He's having a good time. And at some point I have to tell him because he's going to hear it. Now my mom's brother, my uncle, which OD'd, and I found him in his room after being there for 2 days, dead. I went in and found him in the dark. Now, that's something that nobody should ever see in their life, okay? I have PTSD from that. Bad. That's why with all the talk about Jamie, it did trigger my PTSD because I know what her son went through. And so anyway. Her brother had just died 2 months before that, okay? And what do you tell? My son is in like 5th grade. So I told him, Uncle blah, blah, blah was sick. He's gone. He's passed away. He understood death at that age. So I took my son aside. And he was just looking at me. And I started the whole speech of, Nana was sick. I didn't even get the words out that she passed. And my son fainted. He passed out. He was in the 5th grade. What was he, 10, 11? No, he was younger than that. He was in the 4th grade. He was younger than that. But he passed out. I scooped him up in my arms. And I held him for like an hour. Oh, the pain that poor baby felt. I've lost everybody. But it's not just me. It's every single person in my family. The only difference is I either had to make the decision to shut the machines off for them or I found them, My first death that I ever had to go through to find somebody, I was 13 years old, and my mom and I, my family, my grandmother owned a 3-family. So my aunt and uncle and my 2 cousins were on the 1st floor. Then on the 2nd was my family, and the 3rd was my aunt's family, another aunt. Well, I went downstairs to check on my aunt because my mom was like, I haven't heard from Auntie Bubba. So I went down the back stairs and I go in and she's foaming she's blue, foaming at the mouth. Now I had just taken a course on lifeguard stuff to work at the little local pool for the summer as a lifeguard. I was 14, 13. I jumped on top of her. I moved all the stuff away from her mouth and I started working on her. The ambulance comes in. I can't watch any parts of movies. Those zap things they use for your heart on your body, and you zap them and they rub them together? I can't watch that because they did that to my aunt in front of me. That was the first family member that I found, 13 years old. And then after that, years later, my uncle passed, which I found. 2 months later, my mom, which I had to go over there, I saw her. A few months after that, my grandfather, I took care of my grandmother and grandfather for over 10 years. 24-hour care. They lived with me. So I was my grandfather's healthcare proxy, and he was brain dead, so I had to sign, shut the machines off. So that was the 3 of them within not even a year. Then a few years go by. My grandmother has 2 children left out of 5. My aunt, my mom's sister, who was like a mom to me, because my mom's gone. So a few years go by, and I'm out at like a little local sports bar watching a hockey game, watching the Bruins, and I get a call that my aunt died. She was at home. She just died. She stroked out and died on the floor. And then a month later, my grandmother had to make the choice to shut the machines off on her. So when I tell you that I know death, I know loss, I know sorrow, I know all of it. I know people can be like, oh, you can say all that. It's good for me to say it, to talk about it. And it's crazy because when I talk about it, it's like it's something I saw. It's like a movie. It's not like not what happened to me. But it is what happened to me. I don't know. I just wanted to get that out, I guess. I don't know why I just told you all that. I just needed to. I think I just needed to talk. I like to be open with you guys. I like to be truthful. You guys are watching me to follow my life, to follow my story, right? Well, there's a part of my story that, not grand, not great, but it would make you understand me a little bit more, I hope.